Feeling that flow state gives you almost like a superpower, really, and that connects something in your brain to release all these emotions and negativity. And it's just become a really, really important part of my mental health and being happy with who I am.
I've never felt such a state of happiness when I am mostly just by myself playing with my hoop. I'll unlock different things I've never done before. Think, what the heck is that coming from? So I went to my first drum circle September 26th, 2013. Picked up a hoop there, really liked it. And I was in therapy at the time for like anxiety, depression, OCD, and I told my therapist about hula hooping. And she said it's actually a really good coping skill, especially for OCD, because it helps distract the mind and the body when you're using the hoop. And then it became like my #1 coping skill, and it's been with me ever since. I'm Tina Caleras, I'm 25 years old. I've been hooping for 8 years now.
Our society makes us want to grow up and feel like we're not supposed to do such simple things like play with a plastic circle. But if playing with a plastic circle makes you feel good and makes you not anxious or not depressed or makes you feel confident, then play with it.
Flow is when discipline and practice meets like surrender and being at one with the moment. So when anything that you have practiced to a great degree, in this case, spinning props, if you have that practice and then you're able to step outside of that just like masculine energy, discipline entirely, and then kind of merge it with that feminine, you can reach this space where you're performing in such a way that it's not so much you doing it as it is you're a channel of expression. For many years, I'd been interested in meditation and didn't really know how to start with it. Flow arts has impacted me in the way that it's given me a more appropriate for an ADHD mind form of meditation. It's really cool when you have something that you feel like you're good at that is really pretty to look at and makes you feel pretty. So that's a cool opportunity to realize your own beauty and be able to share it with people. I'm Joe, I'm from Cincinnati. I've been doing flow arts for about 3 years now.
Flow arts has brought quite a few opportunities into my life. It's basically a workout. It's made me not feel like I'm, just sitting around all day. It's made me more active. It's brought me performing. We've paid our rent one or several months, just fire performing for people out at their houses or events, things like that. So it's brought me financial gain. It's brought me peace of mind. It's brought me some of the greatest friends I've ever had in the world. I burn myself all the time with fire. I've got scars all up and down my arms. It's just something you kind of get used to. It's so worth it. A burn will hurt for a little while and then go away and maybe leave a cool scar. That's about as worst it can do. If that means I can have therapy for my being all the time for a little burn here and there, pain goes away. External pain goes away. The flow helps me get rid of my internal pain. My name is Shane Dunn. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I've been flowing for about 5 years now, I think. Fire performing for about 4.
Being in the flow state is the realm between the spiritual and the physical world, and there is no better description than that, because when you reach a flow state, you're completely blissful, and you just it's almost like you're not here, like you're not in the physical reality, because you're so immersed in the activity that you're doing that it becomes spiritual and it becomes euphoric. Euphoria is the best word to use for that. The word flow to me means constant movement, constant effortless thought pattern. It doesn't even have to be just in flow arts, but if you're playing guitar and you don't think about the chords that you're hitting, that's flow. Or if you're writing a book and you just get on this constant path of words, that's flow.
When we speak of flow in the terms of movement, it all kind of comes back to always moving forward in something or constantly shifting patterns and cycles. flow is always, it's been this word that is used to kind of universally describe what that is. You get into this pattern, feeling of accomplishment, and you just kind of want to stay there. It's almost like this high you reach. I used to have pretty severe anxiety and depression, and when we go back on the question of what is the flow state, I think part of that unlocks certain areas of the brain that kind of combat that depression, that anxiety. And so I've noticed a huge shift in my mental awareness, because when you try and include mind, body, and spirit in any type of art form, you start learning parts about yourself you didn't know were there. And it's kind of like a form of self-therapy. You know, when you get down to it, it's like, okay, like I had a bad day in the aspect of flow arts, I'm just gonna pick some props up and just chill for a bit. You know, I'm gonna, instead of sitting there and festering in that bad mood, you get up and you just start moving. You convert that energy into something that is, you know, you don't hate, you recreate. You know, that's kind of the phrase I use, you know, when I teach my classes is, you know, someone gets upset because they can't get a move. I'm like, you know, don't be upset that you're upset. Just use that emotion to kind of recreate something out of that. My favorite thing about the flow arts community as a whole is anyone can be a part of it. That's honestly my favorite thing. Like, I never would have been able to tell that that person was into flow arts. You know, it's almost like this mysterious identity, because sometimes you can tell physically if someone's an athlete. You can tell physically if someone's a dancer or an artist, but most of the time, physicality isn't really the big issue or a big part of flow arts. Like, anyone can pick up a prop and start spinning it and learn something and learn a movement. The constant inclusion, it's always there, and flow arts is always bringing more and more people in from all walks of life. My name is Gabriel Alexander Ford. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I've been in the flow arts community for 22 years.
My favorite thing about the flow arts community is the connectedness that we all have. We're all so on the same wavelength. Even if you're not like the same kind of person, you can bond on the fact that you play with toys and it makes you feel so connected by your body, mind, and soul. It fuels your inner child and makes you feel a complete state of bliss. Like, it's something very unique and different, and I think that's what makes anyone that falls in love with it so in love with it, is just that it's so different, and it's almost like a secret community of like magic. It truly is like the closest thing in reality that I can say feels like a magic power. It's so important to just be yourself, and this is just a way of giving you that authenticity and feeling like you are being completely yourself and you're not being held back by anything is possibly the #1 thing to give you a happy life. It's the biggest way that you're going to live on earth and be content with your life. You're not gonna feel like you're trapped in a society where you're forced to work and make money to live. Like, you're here on earth to live and to feel good and to have fun. So doing whatever makes you feel that way is what's most important. Even though, yeah, it's important to make money and live, you can't do that unless you're happy and unless you want to be here. So you gotta want to be here. My name's Sophie Say, and I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I've been flowing for about 3 years now, and those have been the best 3 years of my life.